Wrestling with the Past, hosted by Jason Nupp. Join Jason as he reviews classic wrestling footage from the golden era of the WWF, when our biggest childhood fear was anyone from the dreaded Heenan family capturing the precious World Wrestling Federation gold from our red and yellow savior, Hulk Hogan. There were rowdy pipers, snookas who superflied, animals with green tongues, Russian Volkovs, sheiks of iron, a demolition that could axe and smash things to bits. It was a glorious time to be alive. It was a time to rock and wrestle, when a video coliseum fulfilled our childhood world with excitement and wonder. And now, the host of Wrestling with the Past, give it up, give it up, give it up for Mr. Jason Nupp.
All right, guys, it is time, like I said, for the main event. Now, this is a very, I think, historically significant main event. The Iron Sheik is what you call a transitional champion. Hulk Hogan can't beat Bob Backlund for the world title in the WWF in 1984. That doesn't happen, right? That's Bizarro World, good guy versus good guy. So you have to have somebody come in that is believable enough to defeat Bob Backlund and then drop the title to Hulk Hogan. You have to have a bad guy come in to drop the title to good guy Hulk Hogan. And I think the choices that they had at the time, Don Morocco, masked superstar, I think losing the belt within a month, within a few weeks, would have crushed them. You know, it would have, especially Don Morocco, and Don Morocco's the Intercontinental Champion at this time, but you can't have any of the bigger names drop the belt. So we have Iron Sheik, who is sort of a mid-carder, coming in, and you know, he's the anti-USA, and we have the USA hero, Hulk Hogan, and so it was easy to give the belt to the Iron Sheik. The way he beat Bob Backlund was not necessarily domination. Bob Backlund went into the match with an injury, had the bad back. Arnold Skolin, the manager, throws in the towel for on behalf of Bob Backlund. So Backlund never really loses. You know, so if they want to do something with Backlund going forward, he still has clout. Iron Sheik's a champion. So anyway, this is the one and only big match, title match for the Iron Sheik. He did defend the title on a Championship Wrestling episode against, you know, Enhancement, but this is the big, this is the only real title defense for the Iron Sheik, and it's against Tito Santana, who is climbing the ranks. We would call him the #1 contender for the Intercontinental title, and which may be in his very immediate future. But here he gets the title shot, and in between the matches we have this horrible green screen footage of the worst wrestling announcer, personality, anybody, the worst in the history of the world. In all of the world, there has never been anybody worse than Cal Rudman. He's horrible for many, many reasons. But here he is interviewing Tito Santana, and I believe there might be a horribly kayfabe botched interview between Rudman and Iron Sheik following this. I mean, Cal Rudman is the kind of guy that says, boy, that Iron Sheik, he's a real mean guy in the ring, but backstage I met him, I met his wife, I met his kids. His name really isn't the Iron Sheik. You know, just horrible, horrible stuff that Vince McMahon would literally have him assassinated for today. Back then, I don't know how he gets away with it. Anyway, let's get ready for this very significant and historical main event. Tito Santana challenging the Iron Sheik for the world's heavyweight title. All right, actually a tremendous match. These are very, very LJN era wrestlers right here. Iron Sheik and Tito Santana. These guys will stick around in the WWF during my the prime for me watching this stuff. So this was actually a great match. Went long, went about 16 minutes or so, and back and forth, of course. The classic finish, which I love/hate. Kind of the dusty. Well, this isn't actually a dusty finish. This is referee bump, right? So Iron Sheik knocks into the referee on purpose, and Tito Santana hits the flying forearm, which is one of my favorite finishing moves. Hits the flying forearm, knocks him out right as the referee's coming around, gets the cover. The crowd is excited. Referee doesn't even count because Iron Sheik is going to be disqualified for bumping the ref. And Tito Santana is oblivious to that, apparently. But great match. And what's pretty significant about this is that in a minute here, they're going to do the announcements for next month's Philly Spectrum card. And the main event is a return match for the world's heavyweight title, Tito Santana taking on Iron Sheik. Obviously, that doesn't happen. And I don't know how they replace it. I think Hogan has a title defense against Masked Superstar in Philly in February, I think. Maybe we do still see Tito versus Iron Sheik in kind of a grudge match, non-title thing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If I have the Philly show for February, I don't know if I do. That's the main event in the middle of the card. Let's go on and see what else we got. All right, next up, our second world title match title match of the Philly Spectrum show. Definitely not as competitive, and nobody thought that the title was going to change hands here, but Magnificent Morocco, the Intercontinental Champion, sporting a beard, coming in a little bit. He's taking on Salvatore Bellomo. Yeah. On TV, Don Morocco will squash Salvatore Bellomo in 2.5 minutes. In the Spectrum, they're getting a 60-minute time limit. I'm guessing it doesn't go 60. Probably goes long with all of Morocco's stalling. So I'm not thrilled with the match choice here. Next week's MSG house show has Tito taking on Morocco. That's in Madison Square Garden on the Hulk Hogan title win. And I can't remember in my little brain if that is Tito's title win, but we'll see. But in the Philly show, so far we have a fairly weak card. We have, 3 kind of opening matches. We have the world title match, and now the Intercontinental title match is defended against a guy who's not going to win, and nobody in Philly ever thought he would. But Don Morocco against Salvatore Bellomo, probably going to be a good match. Let's check it out. But Don Morocco, good match. Just your classic. First of all, Don Morocco is a wonderful everything. He's a wonderful everything in wrestling. Great on the mic, great seller, aggressive offense. I love Don Morocco. You know that. I've said that. So here he allows Salvatore Bellomo to get a whole bunch of offense, makes Salvatore Bellomo look great, and bumps all over the ring for him, and then comes back, aggressively, back and forth. Salvatore gets it for a little while. Morocco comes back, and here you have the kind of the what's it called, a schmaz finish. I don't know. That's not really the word for it, but it's a non-convincing, and I like that because Salvatore's got to go on and have, he's got to be a believable competitor, and so Don Morocco gets that sunset flip, maybe some trunks pin to let Salvatore go on a little bit and have a little bit more. A little bit more believability. He's not just dominated and destroyed by Morocco. So I like that. I like that touch, when you kind of examine the matchup a little bit like that and try to guess what they were doing, which I could be totally wrong. I don't know. Anyway, Morocco goes over, and I don't think he'll have the belt much longer, but we'll see. I'll be right back. All right, guys, interesting matchup here. I guess I didn't expect this one, or I forgot about it. Masked Superstar is taking on Bob Backlund. And that's interesting because Bob Backlund obviously just lost the title a month ago or so to the Iron Sheik. And does not get the rematch at Philly. You would think Why is Bob Backlund taking on Masked Superstar? Shouldn't he be taking on Iron Sheik? Doesn't the former champion get the first rematch? Well, I don't know. We got Masked Superstar taking on Bob Backlund. Interesting thing to note here. The WWF fans are done with Bob Backlund at this point. They're actually booing him during the introductions. That's interesting. Bob Backlund has about 1 or 2 more months left in the WWF. He's certainly not going to be on TV or talked about once Hulk Hogan wins the title. Interesting. In fact, one of Bob Backlund's last matches, I think, is at the Spectrum. It's a face versus face match with him against Salvatore Bellomo. And then he's gone, and then he disappears until Pro Wrestling USA. Let's take a look at this interesting matchup. Ugh, what a match. Not in a good way. This felt like an 8-minute side headlock, followed by an 8-minute chin lock, followed by an 8-minute armbar. That was the match. No, it wasn't a 24-minute match, but it felt like a 124-minute match. Just a constant, almost like the entire match was a rest hold. Not great. Masked Superstar gets the win, shockingly. He gets a count-out win over Bob Backlund. One of those situations where they're both outside of the ring, and Masked Superstar rolls in first, followed by Bob Backlund like half a second behind, and referees ringing the bell and count out. Interesting that Bob Backlund does not get the win here. I don't know, obviously the decisions, the inner workings of what was going on, I don't know if Bob Backlund is already on his way out, if he's just satisfying the last few dates on his contract. I have no idea, but it makes sense if Masked Superstar beats him, so because Masked Superstar is going to go on. Interesting note, most of you guys already know Masked Superstar is indeed Demolition Axe Bill Eadie, which is pretty cool to watch it now and know who that guy will become in a few years. Interesting. Let's check out what's next. If anybody wants to go and get a sandwich, if anybody has to pee, now would be the right time, because we have the famous, infamous, stereotypical comedy midget match. Not my words. Don't write letters. Don't get offended. The little people. All right. Well, I had my sandwich. Went pee. Look, nothing against the participants of the match, but I don't know what I don't know what the thing was with that in '84. I mean, it's a comedy moment, I guess. All the midget matches are, there's some decent action, but really it's just kind of a sort of a sideshow filler match, and I could get that in the 70s, or so, but 84, I don't know why there's room on the card for that. Again, nothing against those guys. Hope they made a lot of money. Great for them. I think it was Haiti Kid, Tiger Jackson, little guy Johnny, and I don't know, somebody else. So that, ends with, of course, the referee catching, somebody off of a kick out, and they chase the referee around the ring, kicking him in the butt. I mean, it's like, okay, it was, I giggled when I was a kid, but now I'm probably not going to sit through it. I'm not a hater at all, just don't get it. We'll move on. All right, guys, I'm thinking this might be the last match. I'm not sure. We have, again, during this era, they would usually end the card with a gigantic 6 or 8 man tag team match. Now, I haven't heard the particulars for this match yet, but some 8-man matches were best 3 out of 5 falls. Yeah. They're all best 2 out of 3. That's guaranteed. 6-man matches are 2 out of 3. The 8-man matches are 3 out of 5 falls. I'm not sure if this one is. I'll find out in a minute. But we've got the Samoans, all 3 Samoans, Afa, Sika, and Samula at the time, teams up with Sergeant Slaughter, who's about that far away from his face turn. And they are taking on the tag team champions, Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant is always in these 6-mans, always in these 8-mans. And when he's teaming with Snuka, I can guarantee you Jimmy Snuka jumps off his shoulders for one of the pinfalls, guaranteed. Let's check it out. All right, guys, it was only a 2 out of 3 fall match. And if that's the case, you know that it's going to be a tie. And 1 match to 1, and it was. Rocky Johnson took the pinfall in the first fall to give the first fall to the bad guys. Second fall right here, I told you, Jimmy Snuka not doing the Superfly leap off of Andre's shoulders, but rather the, looks like the high cross body block there to get the pin on Samu. And I just brought it back. I rewound it to this so I could show you that. But the third fall ends, of course, with Andre the Giant falling on someone. I think it's one of the Samoans. I think it's Samu. He seemed to take the pinfall a lot in these matches. And Andre does that classic, I don't know, butt drop, where he just kind of sits on you, falls on you, gets the 3 count. The announcers react, oh, you know, like Samu is dead, with all 9,000 pounds of Andre crushing him. But I've always loved this. In fact, there's a wrestling card. There's one of those Tops wrestling cards where Snuka is leaping off the shoulders of Andre. They do it all the time on this house show circuit. Whenever it's Andre and Snuka together, whether it's a tag team, 6-man, 8-man, Snuka's always jumping off of Andre's shoulders. I think it's awesome. Let's see if there's anything left. Well, that is it, actually. The 8-man ended it. That was my prediction. They often ended it with the 8-man or the 6-man. Great card, nostalgia-wise. You know, the matches were not great, not super competitive, especially the Intercontinental match. They had a competitive match in the ring, but on paper, nobody's getting excited about Belomo versus Morocco. And I don't even know if people were getting excited about Tito and Sheik. Was Tito really going to become the world's champion? Hulk Hogan was around at this point. Was anybody really putting their money on Iron Sheik? So kind of a throwaway Philly Spectrum show. It gets better, trust me. The next one we're going to check out because of the doubles that I have, the double Championship Wrestling episodes that I have. We're going to check out the house show. The Madison Square Garden house show, January 23rd, 1984 is next. We will see Hulkamania begin, and then we will do February 4th Championship Wrestling. So we'll jump right back into it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Wrestling with the Past, Philly Spectrum, January 1984. Until next time, good night now.